Alrighty, welcome back. What I'm doing right now is I made a pattern for the wheel wells. If you want to come over this side, sweetheart, we'll just take a look. I'm not going to work inside the car today. It's too hard to work inside the car and try to keep it visually happy, I'm thinking, I'm not sure. Or it's hard for me to be happy when I'm inside there beating around and crashing and banging and not being able to get it done as quick as I want to. But what I've done is I made this pattern here out of cardboard, just like I always do. Bristol board. I want to thank the Bristol board guy again. Thank you very much. I made a little pattern. I went in there on the wheel well and I welded the wheel well to the inside window construction in the back. Connect that together the best I could. Now we come over this side and you'll get to see why I'm doing that. You can see now, as I've cut that wheel well out of there. Now I have to replace that integrity. I've got the one down there replaced, the one that goes to the wheel well below it. You can see where I welded it to the B pillar and the wheel well. I welded it back together, and I'm welding it back together up in there too. I have lapped it on this side, which I feel like lapping it when you cut something in half makes it stronger. It does to me. We can also come up to the front. You can see this on Facebook, I think. I finished off, I put some metal up there on the firewall. Whoop, there's a conversation we should have. What, baby? I put some metal on I had to cut the metal underneath the window, and I went up and sheared a 2-inch piece and slid it across there. I cut it in half to make it easier. I did not cut it exactly in the center. It did not much matter. I'll continue welding that in the center, and I'll probably buff it off so you can't see it, but I've butt welded it together there. We've got a perforated firewall. There's a lot of criticism on that. And I can clear that up very easy. I can clear it up very easy. What's happening here is me and Jolene have a goal. We have a dream. And what the dream is to finish the cab over. The cab over is a 36 Ford that I cut in half. Most everybody knows what's going on that watches, but there's new people and there's beginners. I don't know what to say, but I've married a car on top of a 49 Merc. I did not change anything from the 49 Merc, but other than cut the top off it and add something to it. That's what I did. They were both in the dooryard, and that's what I want to do, and I'm making a cab over. As we've made the cab over, I'm thinking we got to haul something with it. We've got to do something with it cool. So what I've come up with, there's a race called the Pine Tree Jamboree, and it is a 8th mile. That's, I think, a little over 600 feet, I'm thinking. Does that sound right, baby? Am I right? A little over 600 feet. So what happens is, from what I understand, it's pre-war. They want flatheads only, so it's 53 down. The engine must be a flathead. You must run bi-sply tires. It must sort of be built to the era. I'm not sure. I'm not thinking they want rat rods. They want era-looking cars. What can I say? Bi-sply tires, flathead, and everything that used to be. Now you can imagine what you have to do is you have to imagine. I am thinking like I am in 1935. That's how I feel. I'm in 1935. I've got an old 35 two-door out there, and I've got a flathead. I want to go racing with my little darling and let her go racing. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to build her a race car in 1935. We have to take our brain and put it back in 1935. In 1935, they had mechanical brakes. That's all they had was mechanical brakes. They drove with mechanical brakes, and what that means is they had a little rod here that pulled on there, and it had I don't know what you call it inside, a cam, I guess, which goes back and forth, which opens your brakes up to hit your brake drums. That's what they had in 1935, right up till 36, I think. So what happens is these races are looking towards that. That's what they want. They have to have mechanical brakes. They can have juice brakes, yes they can. They don't want no disc brakes and that sort of stuff. They don't want no airbags. We don't want that. They want roll bars in cars that have no tops. I can understand that. But basically, what they want is to take a weekend and pretend that you're in 1935 racing an old car, which I think would be a lot of fun. It's an 8th mile, and I wouldn't say that you would get many cars that would do. I don't know if many cars would go over, I'll say 70 miles an hour in an 8th. Like That'd be quite fast for a flathead, and they have spent a lot of money on their car. I know, I've got barely any money spent on this. Barely any money spent on this. The body was out there, I've had it from before. The chassis left over from a build. The motor's been left outside for 3 years and didn't know if it would run or not. I have not spent any money, and I want to go racing with Jolene and let her race a car. When it comes to the Firewall, we have to understand in 1935, some cars didn't even have a firewall. You know, they had their motor open in their car. Some don't have a drive shaft tunnel. You can see their transmission. They do not want cars with lights on them. We got no lights. Also, when you're driving in an open car, there's some people that just build the chassis and have the seat. So if it overheated, well, the water, blah, geez, you get burnt. Yeah, maybe you might. You know what I mean? If you went to get a coffee and it spilt and it hit your thumb, you might get burnt. The holes in the in the firewall, to me, someone's saying about fumes. I have to go about the things people are saying and the concerns. Fire, fumes, and there's holes. When you go to a racetrack, I want to tell you, you're going to smell race fuel. You're going to smell burnt rubber, you're going to smell oil, and you might smell a little bullshit that people are telling you. You might smell a little bit of that. But what I'm saying is, when we go racing on the beach, we might do 40, 50 miles an hour, maybe. She might do 40 or 50 miles an hour. We're not expecting water to blow in the firewall all over and burn her and skull. We're not expecting that. We're not wanting that. We're not wanting it to blow up in flames and be the first car that's ever blown up on a flathead race on the beach. We don't want that. The car has been modified in every sense. When you build, let's get this in perspective. When you build a race car, that's what you're doing. You're modifying it. You're modifying it. And that's what we have done. We have looked at the rules. The rules said no sedans unless drastically modified. Check. That's what we got, drastically modified. Yeah, basically, I feel, do not let your brain stop so quickly when you feel there's a hole in the firewall to jump on something. Well, you have to take your brain a little bit further and think about the next step. Well, where are they taking it? How fast would that flathead go? Would that really, with the radiator way back here, would that really burn her way down in there? Would that really burn her? Would it really catch on fire and flip upside down doing 40 miles an hour? Is she gonna get out of control and hit somebody? Like, I really do not feel like, I'm not saying it couldn't happen. The Titanic sunk, yes it did. But I can't say that we're going anywhere to get hurt with any amount of speed. You know, yeah, it doesn't. I don't feel like it affects anything. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show you and everybody else in the world that you can do and you can build whatever you want. This car will never be on the road. This is Jolene's race car that she's going to take to a beach or a drag strip that she's going to do 40 or 50 miles an hour in. We have to get real and get in perspective. The Model A has the gas tank right there in front of your face. Let's come on. Don't hold yourself back. And the reason why I say that is if you do not jump, the chute cannot open. It cannot. And every day I come in here, I do whatever I feel I want to. And for me to put that perforated firewall in there is basically is because I had it. I think it looks cool. I haven't seen anybody else really do it. I've seen people put holes in their firewall. Yes, I have. And when I was taking a good old, a good old number 2 this morning, I picked up a magazine. Oh, got louvers in their firewall. So basically, that tells me that I'm allowed to have holes in my firewall. I don't feel Jolene is going to be hurting this thing. I think she's going to have a ball. And if any of you would not drive it, there's a word for that. I'm not going to offend you, but there's a word for that. I feel like anybody would want to drive that. I'm going to just go over the car a little bit. Like these wishbones, I welded them all up. I put metal inside the hole and welded that too, some square rod in there. Now I've even gusseted it and welded from there to there so it can't bend. Kind of made it a little bit better than it was. It bent before. Now I've gusseted it probably twice as hard. It also makes the suspension better because I've not got the wishbone going in the center. It's not flopping all over the place. With no suspension in the rear end, Jolene's not going to be bouncing up and down. It's going to stick to the ground. We're low center of gravity. With the standard brakes, we've got them on the front. Or we're not standard, what I'm saying is the mechanical brakes, we've got them on front. That's what stops you is your front brakes, not your back brakes. Back brakes make you drag. The seat and everything, we will put a seat belt in it for her. Yes, we will. And if she smelled worse things than gas and oil and burning tires. She smelled worse, I guarantee it. Before I went and used the washroom, she had to smell. And it was a lot worse than that, wasn't it, baby? It was a lot worse than that. But anyways, I want to show you what we're building it for. When the picture was drawn on the board there, it showed the truck hauling the race car. The car is being built for, we'll show you right here, I guess. This is kind of, you don't know unless you've been shown. And there's a lot of things I haven't been shown in life. But when I see this on the old screen, I don't know what you see it on, YouTube. But when you see cars like that racing on the sand, do you think in any way that they're catching on fire and getting burnt with water and, you know, just normal stuff? These people are having, I would say, probably the time of their life. You know, basically, spinning a little bit of sand. I think Jolene's going to have a blast. There's a couple videos up. If any cars in this video roll over and blow up, man, I don't know if I tried or not. And also, if you're not willing, I don't know, it's hard to defend yourself when it's kind of silly about the Firewall. It's kind of silly. We're not driving it every day. It's going to be a weekend race car because we can. I hope we don't fall out of that thing. And basically, you know, if you know what I'm trying to say, I don't want to make fun, but there was a lot of comments about you can't do that. Well, if you look at the car from here, I would hate to say you might, if I threw a bucket of water, and you might get a little water if I threw a bucket of water at you. You might. I highly doubt it very much. But you know, as the Firewall's there, and it's full of holes, let's cut some more. Right, baby? Let's cut some more. That's how I feel. Let's cut some more. And the reason I'm cutting them is because I feel like the lighter the car, the quicker she may go. Also, it's art. To me, it's art. I feel like it's art. When someone comes and looks at this car, you know, they could probably, and if I lead all the welds in it and have everything the way I sort of got it going, someone might think that it was built in 1935, and that's what I'm going for. That's what I'm going for. That's what I'm going for. That's what they want. I'm having fun with this, and for anybody to get upset about some holes in the Firewall, yeah, I kind of went outside here this morning, you know, and the Firewall that I cut out of it, it's got a bunch of holes in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to say. It is what it is. I do not think I'm doing anything that's not done before. I do not feel like that's going to hurt her. She's not going to be going fast enough to. I hope nothing happens. I don't think that way. And if you do think that way, don't go make a cup of coffee because you might get burnt, you know, or don't cook anything on the stove, or don't go to a racetrack. You might smell rubber. Like it's really quite, I don't know what else to say. It's like, it's kind of, I don't want to offend anybody, but you're not clicking your brain far enough to understand where I'm at. And I'm making a piece of art to go down the track for me and Jolene to have fun. Period correct. Thinking of nothing but good stuff, basically. I've got this arm here. I've noticed that you can buy these arms, and they have the holes in them. I'm going to put my own holes in it. I'm going to do it real quick, and I'm going to do it with my eye, and I'm going to do it because we can. Because we can. I wonder. I'm just going to do a reference thing here. And we'll see how it turns out. So I'm just going to, I just want to color them in. I want to get one bigger. The big one, and a little bit smaller. I use that hole there because it's there. I don't want that hole besides. Go like that. You can do this on your ride too if you want to. Don't let anybody stop you. And see the thing about, if all the comments that were bad on the internet stop me from doing what I'm doing, that would be sad. I'm having fun. I'm having fun, man. Don't stop people from having fun. Get on the wagon. If not, you'll be left behind. Basically. I'm just trying to get them so they look a little better. Trying to get them that one bigger, obviously. See what I'm doing? Just going back over them, playing with my eye. Playing with my eye. That's what I'm doing, playing with my eye. Want another one? I don't have to do it. What's that? I'm good? Let's take a look at the other side. Can't see it. Just check it out here. Alrighty, I gotta do this again. That's my third one. There should be one here. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Got myself confused now, haven't I? What? Shouldn't even done that. I'm gonna knock that off. Do it one more time. Just take a rag. Not happy with it, so just take it off. Not happy with it. not happy with it. Thinner takes it off quickly. Put a little thinner on a rag. We'll do that one more time. Try to do it quickly. All right. Why do it quickly? Take as long as I want, eh? Baby? Take as long as I want. Take as long as I want. It's my party and I can cry if I want to. Right, baby? All right, here we go. Number 1. I think I'm going to color them in, just make me feel a little better. See what I'm cutting. I bet you after I do this, somebody's going to be cutting holes in there tonight. Huh? You think? You can only hope. That's another thing too. I want to inspire people to do something, not to get them to do the wrong thing, not do the wrong thing. When I'm doing something, I feel like I'm doing a good job at it. When I'm looking at that pitman arm, I feel like I've done a great job at that. I welded that all up. I made sure that I didn't grind all the weld off, so there's lots of weld there. It's plenty strong. I'm not putting it on the road every day. No, I'm not. But I did not let anything stop me from getting what I want, my dream. Why would I do that? Why would I stop that when I can modify that and fix that and make that work? That's who I am. I wouldn't go in the store and buy a chair if I thought I could make it cheaper. That's who I am. And why am I not allowed to think that way? You have to ask yourself, why am I not allowed to think that way? Why am I not allowed to do that? Why am I not? Because someone else thinks I can't or shouldn't? You really have to. I don't know what to say. Alrighty. I'm going to ahead a little bit, I think. That was fun, wasn't it? That was fun. Stick with us, though, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to have anybody leave because we put holes in the firewall, we've modified the pitman arm. I don't want anybody to leave the station because of that. I would say, stay and grow. And the reason, what I mean by grow, if you have never seen someone do that before, you just take it from what you would do and what you wouldn't do. Oh, I would never do that. Well, just stick with it. I might do something else you wouldn't do. Or I might do something you might do. Or, you know what I'm saying? Also, yeah. Life, what? Life is meant to live, and that's what I want to do. And if I don't do some of the things that my brain tell me to do, I'm not living. Not living. And my baby. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Not living. All right, here we go. I know it's hard to believe, but I'm going to do it. Get the air compressor turned on. I guess this we had to address the situation, I guess. You know what I mean? I could just carry on and forget about it, but I feel like it's, it was an issue, so we might as well cure it. It was a scratch, we'll itch it. I'm going to keep my pattern, throwing that away. Now I'm going to cut them holes in there, hook the air up. Also, I've asked Jolene many times, because, you know, she's the one that does the computer. Are you scared to drive it? And she looked at me and said, "I can't wait to go." You know what I mean? Like, she's excited to get in there, you know, to get in it and give it a shot, right? She's excited. So for anybody to feel like it's unsafe, I guess that would bother you somewhat, I guess, you know what I mean? Like, I think anybody would drive it if they had the chance. Alrighty. One, 2, I call him the count. 3, 4, 5, I'll just keep going. Didn't want to do that, but I did. Alrighty. We'll let that cool off for a second. That don't look too bad. I guess that doesn't stop that. That's just cooler than dang it. So, I'm thinking they may have done that back then. They may have done that to get rid of weight, but we've done it just to make it look the way we want to look. It's kind of it's a bit of fun and having it's art. Like really, like I didn't have to. I could have drew a perfectly straight line on there and made them perfect and measured everyone out. Yes, I could have. But why not just do it as what's going on now? It makes it more artsy to me. It's sometimes in the flaws that make the piece, and I think the firewall is part of it. Basically, I've never seen a car with no dash before, and that's what I plan on doing with this car. We're not going to have a dash. I'm not saying I've never seen a car with no dash, not sure. But I'm going to put some little tiny instruments up in here, I guess, some little tiny small ones, maybe if I can find some Steve Warner gauges or whatever, Stuart Warner gauges. I'll slide them up in there, and that'll be it. And the reason being, weight again. But when someone comes and looks at this car, they're going to say, wow, look at all the stuff they've done to this thing, you know. And that's what it's about for me. When we go there, when I build a car, generally, I build a car that's not like everybody else's. And you can see on there, you've seen the frames and the Model A's and the whatever. But when they see this, it's going to stand out, will it not? Good or bad, there will be people talking about it, I guarantee it. Good or bad. Now, I can mess with them holes more and more and more and more and more and more. Yes, I can. I don't really want to. I'm not going to because I feel like that's good enough. That's where it's at. That belongs. That is in place. I think I'm going to cut some holes in the chassis. Do you want me to cut some holes in the chassis now? Baby's smiling. That says it all, boys. I said, you want me to cut some holes in the chassis? She wants some, yeah. Just like Fina for the dog sticks, huh? Yeah, I want to cut some holes in her, man. But it's fun for her, and it's fun for her and for me. And I hope that's one thing you get from these videos is you see me having fun because I'm having fun cutting them out. I didn't measure them. I did nothing. I drew them on there, and I'm happy with it. It is what it is. You know, who's going to knock that? Well, one's closer than the other, one's further apart. Oh, gee, no, whatever. We'll get don't worry. The piece of metal that dropped in, we made the holes a little bit bigger. We'll just put a magnet on there, give a little shot of air maybe, and just keep pulling them out if we want to, you know, if we desire. I'm going to cut some holes on the side of the chassis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a couple grinder discs over there. They're about the roundest that I know of that are easy to deal with. And what we're going to do, that one there looks, it's not bad. And you say he's going to put holes in the chassis. Don't be scared, because when I come look at this car. See all the holes in the chassis? Up there, can you see all the holes? You can see them now. There's some of them. Hard to see. Yeah, you can see them all up in the back here, look, in the side. You know, if they got holes, we got holes. Also, I'm thinking on this chassis where I'm cutting the hole. I have to think about it in my brain. I have to think it over. I just can't just go cutting because I feel like it. But this is what I'm thinking. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 cross members in this car. We got 6 cross members in this car. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It'll have 7. It'll have 14 body mounts. So just think about this now. If I cut a hole in the center, first thing someone's going to think, well, the frame's going to bend. You'd have to bend the car when you bend the frame. You'd have to bend the car to bend the frame. The car has been bolted with the skeleton. The skeleton is all welded to this square tubing we have outside here, this 3/16 1-inch square stock. We have a 3/4 inch 3/16 inside. We have it welded together. We have all the cross members. When the body's bolted on the car, you'd have to bend the car to bend the chassis. That's what I've told myself. And that's what I just told you. That's what I'm thinking. You have to bend the car to bend the chassis. There's a nice hole right there. It's right in behind that. It's got a big brace there. It's got a big brace there. I'll draw it there. See what, I want to draw it out and see what it looks like first, instead of just cutting. Believe me, I just cut. And we'll just do it by eye. And that's the way we have been doing it, so that's where we'll continue. How's that, baby? You all right with that? Eh? I got good eyes. You're good looking. Aren't you? I think you are. I think you're beautiful. I hope you like my piece of art I'm making for you. I hope you feel safe at the same time. You know, safe as you can be, like, let's face it. Have a few beer and get on a lawn tractor. I know you're not supposed to, but. What's that, sweetheart? Oh, Jolene just put it in perspective for me. She's played rougher games in soccer than this car is going to do anything to her. She played rougher games in soccer. You know, I agree with you, sweetheart. I broke a bone once playing hockey. I agree. They just don't want you to have fun, see? Yeah, I got a piece going across there. What's that doing? Oh, that's just there for shits and giggles. That's not there for anything at all. Dun, 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 dun. I don't like maybe that one there so much, but it's right in the line of fire, isn't it? To me it is. To my eye. And you say, and people, you know, you might think, well, why would you not measure them out? Well, I think this is a lot more fun than going and getting a tape measure and slinging a bunch of tape on it and trying to draw a line and that sort of stuff. This is a lot more fun, and I'll tell you why. Because it's my eye that's telling me what I want to do or what I think. Like, why would I not? That is a brace. I'm going to leave that. I'm just going to leave it there for a minute because I don't think there's one on the other side. I'm going to stand back and just take a look at it, sweetheart. Wow. Huh? That don't look bad, does it? Huh? Don't look bad at all. What do you think? Take a look at it. Show the camera. I think that's pretty good. You want to see some holes? Go further ahead. Are we going to go up here? I don't want to go right here. There's a piece there. I can't put a big hole here. I know it was in that picture. That was cool. That's in there. But I can do a couple in here. But I really want to just do, what can I say? I have to watch what I'm doing right here. Because there's the clutch pedal. That's the clutch pedal right here. Don't want to mess with that. Brake pedal connected on that. I can come up here a bit. I can come up here. Yes, I can. Do some holes in here. Second. Do I want smaller holes? And see, this throws my pattern all off as I got them all on there. If you know what I'm, you know, it's, well, but that's a brace for the clutch pedal and brake pedal. Don't want to get into that. That there too. You know, we can go up here. And we certainly can. Whoop, whoop. Put one there. Also, might like to get them smaller as I'm going up. They had holes in it, right? Ours are a little bit bigger. Want to get a smaller one than that? If we got one. Probably not. Something smaller than that. Listen, why would I bother? See, there's no bracing behind that. No, it's good. Piece of metal in behind that. It's doubled up there. It's quite bubbly. Pretty hard to make a big hole, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm trying to get at? Just take a look at it and see what you think. That don't look bad. I could actually, no, I disagree. I can make them straight. So I'm glad I got back and took a look at it. Bigger. Smaller. Go there. That's good enough, I think. Jolie. Holes in the frame. One thing I will give them, you can see what they done there. They must have shoved a piece of pipe in there and then cased it, which would make it strong. They would need that for that big engine. But I'm just showing you the holes. Don't like this one. Just wants to be a little bit bigger than that one. Not much, but a little bigger than that one. Nope. Oh, I can get another one there, no problem. Nope. Smaller. Just gotta check things out, that's all. Check things out. Nothing in the back of there. Nope. All right, I'll go with that and then this. So we're going from bigger to smaller, okay? You happy with that? Get that a little closer there. And what I'll do when I'm cutting, you just stay sort of away from the outside of the line. And I'll go close. What do you think? Cut them out. Here we go. I'm gonna cut them out. And I'm gonna cut them freehand instead of going around that. I think it'll make too big of a, well, it'd be silly of me to try to freehand it, wouldn't it? Or more art in the car. More art in the car. Whoop, whoop. Start. Don't want that to happen. Come right out of there. Oh, there's a bracket in there. Ah! Have to get that off later. Oh. Keep wiping it off. I'll just keep putting it back on, won't it, baby? We'll just clean it up with a die grinder. I wonder if that makes it period correct. Yes. Dropping the holes out of her, baby. Dropping the holes out of her. What's this one got? Yeah, it's just a piece on the side. hole in this one. I probably weld them up. I'll probably put something in there and weld those up so it looks uniform. That's what I'll do. I'll weld them up. Get in the right spot here. If you're not comfortable, he can get you. No, on my side here. Gonna stand back, take a look for a second. Crazy. What do you think, baby? Crazy. Alrighty, let's do this one. Let's make these look right. Remember, I got a die grinder. Got a die grinder. Oh well, let's stay there. No, I want it to fall out. I don't want it to fall out. He's a wild man. You're on fire. Oh yeah. Also, on this car, I don't think it would be against anybody's regulations, you know, if everybody's worried about fire and getting burnt and all that sort of stuff, to have a fire extinguisher. You can put a fire extinguisher in the car. I see one hole that I really want to adjust quite heavily, and it's probably this one right here. But other than that, that's pretty cool. What do you think? Run her all the way down. That's cool. And the only reason we're doing it is because it's our build. You know, I wouldn't ask anybody else to do it. No, I wouldn't. But when I'm thinking about this sort of stuff, as I cut a hole in it, I've seen holes in other things, other frames and chassis. Look at a 1980 Ford, half-ton. Look at the holes in that bad boy. I know they rusted out, but they done it. You know, if you know what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, that was a long one. We're going to give away a hat or a shirt? We're going to give away a hat or a shirt. Let's do it. Man, I burned a lot of holes today, didn't I, baby? I could do a little bit of die grinding, get them looking good. That was fun to freehand them. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to be perfect. I'm not going for that, obviously. We've got a perforated firewall. We got holes in it already. I want to thank everybody for all the comments and you know, and their concern. But I hope that, you know, put it in perspective, I guess. Model A has a gas tank up in front of your face. Yeah, things can happen at any moment. You could walk out the door and a piece of ice could come off the roof and hit you in the head. You know, that's not, you know how it goes. We've got 750 comments. That's quite a few since, you know, we've had, you know, it's been going down a little bit. But 750 comments is awesome. And just because it's on the opposite side does not mean that we will not be back here tomorrow. Does not mean that. Basically, I'm showing anybody that's watching, what can I say? If you want to know how I'm doing it or how anybody else is doing it, I'm showing you. And if you disagree with it, you have to try to get it in perspective, what kind of car they're building, what they're doing with it, and all that sort of stuff. This car is not meant for the road. We showed you earlier what it's meant for. And basically it's just to make it look nostalgic, like it could have been back then, and go have fun. Have Jolene have fun. All right, let's give away a hat or shirt. Press start. 750 comments. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, let's read this question. Chad is building this as if it's 1935. The only thing he has to build it with is scrap metal in the yard. Love it. Anyone can order from a catalog. Chad makes it. Thank you very much, Edward. Wow, how does that do that? That computer read my mind. Thank you very much, Edward. I'm in 1935, and I've got this hot little blonde that I want to take racing. And man, if I get it done, we might have an adventure. Basically where I'm at, you know what I'm trying to tell you. And the car I'm building for her, I want it to stand out in the crowd, just like she does. Sign off, everybody. Holy Firewall and all.